The certification hall of the Arundel Hunter Board seats 400 examiners, observers, and ranked hunters on a good day. On Reinaldez's third awakening ceremony, every seat is full. 3 chances. That's the law. If a hunter's core doesn't stabilize by the third scan, it never will. Ryan had already failed the first 2, not with bad numbers, but with numbers that made the examiners frown and write things down quickly. Unstable resonance, they said. Volatile baseline. Try again in 6 months. He tried again in 6 months. Twice. Now he stands on the platform for the last time, and the hall is quiet in the way that crowds go quiet when they're waiting for something to confirm what they already believe. The scan takes 40 seconds. A standard awakening returns a class designation, a resonance tier, a projected ceiling. Clean, fast, done. Ryan's scan takes 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Then the array above the platform flickers red. Not amber, not orange, but a hard arterial red that nobody in the hall has seen outside of textbook photographs. And the display above his head resolves into 4 words. Terminal resonance collapse. Stage 3, the murmur that moves through 400 people at once, sounds like a wave breaking. Someone near the back laughs, short and sharp. Up in the observation gallery, the Ironclad 4, the board's one-ranked squad, here for a certification showcase that was supposed to be the main event. Lean on the railing and watch with the comfortable expressions of people watching something that has nothing to do with them. Commander Vale steps forward from the examiner's table. He is a precise man, silver-badged, the kind of official who has never once raised his voice because he has never needed to. He doesn't raise it now. Rin Aldez, he says. 3rd certification attempt. Core classification. Dead rift. Resonance collapse is irreversible at stage 3. He pauses, reading from the form in his hand as though reading from a train schedule. Per board protocol, your hunter registry entry will be struck as of today. You have an estimated 8 days before core failure. The board recommends rest, and where's the Varric rift? Ryan says. The hall goes quieter. Commander Vale looks up from his form. This disposal dungeon. Ryan's voice is flat. Not angry, just exact. The way a man sounds when he's already made a decision, and is only asking for a coordinate. Dead rifts get sent there. I know how it works. I'm asking where the entrance is. Someone in the gallery actually laughs this time. One of the Ironclad 4, the one with the twin blade classification and the habit of commenting loud enough to be heard. He wants to know where to go die faster. That's dedication. Commander Vale caps his pen. His expression doesn't change, but something behind it does. A small, practiced stillness that powerful men wear when they're dismissing something beneath a response. Gate 7, Sublevel 4. The entrance will be unsealed for you. We do not recommend. Ryan is already walking toward the exit. He picks up his discharge slip from the desk at the door, a laminated card with Dead Rift printed across it in red, his name below it, 8 boxes along the bottom for 8 days. Tucks it in his jacket pocket and walks out into the city. He doesn't go home. The sublevel entrance to the Varric Rift is exactly where Vale said it would be. Gate 7, 4th basement, a sealed steel door with a biometric panel and a drain in the floor for reasons nobody explains to the people they send through it. The board unseals it remotely when Ryan presents his discharge card. There is no ceremony. No one is watching on the other side of the cameras today. The Ironclad 4 showcase is happening upstairs, which is where the broadcast crews are. The door opens. The air coming out is cold and smells like deep rock and old blood. Ryan steps through. The Varric Rift is classified as a B-rank dungeon, which means nothing inside it is individually dangerous to a stabilized hunter. To a man with a collapsing core and no class designation, it means 12 floors of creatures that will try to kill him in a variety of ways. The board sends dead rifts here on the theory that at least the dungeon gets cleared to some degree before the core fails completely. A small efficiency, a way to extract one last unit of value. Floor 1 is cave wolves. 6 of them den-forming, territorial, coordinated. Without a class, Ryan has no system skills, no active abilities, nothing the certification process would recognize. He has the hunting knowledge he spent 7 years accumulating, a jacket with no padding, and hands that have spent those 7 years learning exactly where pressure kills something fast. The first wolf charges. He sidesteps, catches it by the throat from behind, and ends it before the second one reaches him. Then something happens that has no name in the Hunter Board's classification manual. It starts as heat, a bloom in his chest that he's felt before, always tagged as the core destabilizing, always the sign things are getting worse. He goes still. The remaining wolves circle, and he waits for the pain that always follows the heat instead. Clarity. Not a system window, not a class prompt, not the clean geometric text that stabilized hunters describe when their skills activate. Something older than that, something that doesn't bother with language, a knowing bone deep and absolute. of exactly what the wolf he just killed was. Its muscle density, its fast twitch ratios, its night vision acuity, which was extraordinary, its cardiovascular endurance, which was better than his. Predator threshold, active. Biological integration, cave wolf times 6, trait acquisition, low light sensory expansion, enhanced fast twitch response. Accumulative, the text is there and then it isn't, like a door opening and closing. Ryan looks at his hands. The veins along his forearms are darker than they were a minute ago. He turns back to the remaining wolves. He clears floor 1 in 11 minutes. The heat comes again after every kill now. A pulse that lasts 3 seconds and leaves him feeling like he's been poured into a slightly larger container than the one he was in before. He doesn't fight it. He leans into it. By the time he reaches the stairwell to floor 2, his eyes are adjusting to the dark faster than they should, and his pulse, which should be elevated from combat, is sitting lower than it was when he walked in. Floor 2 is iron shell crabs, 8 of them. Carapace rated to stop a D-rank strike. He doesn't have a D-rank strike. He finds when he tests the first one that he doesn't need it. The wolf's fast twitch response is still in his muscles, still talking to him, and the crab's weak points are visible to him before he consciously identifies them. He takes them apart methodically, and when the heat comes this time, it brings something new. Biological integration. Iron shell crab times 8. Trait acquisition. Carapace density bone remodeling. Partial pressure resistance integumentary layer. Accumulated. On floor 3, he fights something called a rift stalker, a predator that hunts by vibration, invisible in low light, with a kill count on its registry tag that makes it a D+ anomaly for this dungeon. The Ironclad 4 cleared this floor in a showcase run 2 months ago. Their records show it took 12 minutes and a combined resonance output of 800 units. Ryan kills it in 4 minutes by standing still and letting it come to him, and when the heat fades, he can feel the vibration of the camera drones 2 floors above him through the soles of his feet. He keeps moving. By day 3, he's on floor 7, and the board's passive monitoring system, which tracks life signs of dead rifts as a formality, the way you might track a package you know isn't going to arrive, flags an anomaly. His core readings, which should be degrading on a predictable curve towards 0, are not degrading. They are doing something the monitoring software does not have a label for. A junior analyst sends it up the chain. The chain does not respond immediately because the Ironclad 4 are in a press event, and Commander Vale is at dinner. By day 5, Ryan is on floor 10 and his body has integrated the biology of 63 distinct rift creatures. His bone density is past what the board's physical assessment tools max out at. His fast twitch response is faster than the rift stalkers, which he knows because he can feel it. The same way you can feel your own heartbeat. His skin has developed a subdermal density layer that didn't exist 8 days ago. None of this came from a class. None of it came from a system. It came from the oldest process there is, the body learning, and keeping what it learns, and never giving it back. Predator threshold status, day 5. Biological integrations, 63. Ceiling, not detected. Completion window, 72 hours. Floor 11 holds the dungeon's apex creature, a Varric Titan, a siege-class beast that hasn't been cleared since the dungeon was designated B rank 4 years ago. The board considers it a permanent fixture. It hasn't been added to the cleared creature log because no dead rift has ever reached floor 11. Ryan reaches floor 11 on the evening of day 6, finds the Titan at the center of a cavern so large the ceiling is lost in dark, and stands there for a moment looking at it the way you look at something you already know the answer to. The Titan charges. Ryan doesn't move until the last second, and then he moves like everything in this dungeon has been teaching him to move. Borrowed speed, borrowed density, borrowed instinct, and the Titan hits the cavern wall instead of him, and the fight that follows is not clean or fast, but it ends only one way. When the heat comes this time, it lasts longer than 3 seconds. It lasts almost a minute, and when it fades, the Predator threshold text appears and stays longer than it ever has. Biological integration. Varric Titan. Trait acquisition. Sovereign pressure emission, resonance negation field, passive, siege density skeletal remodeling, complete. Threshold cycle, 98%. Final integration window, 18 hours. Ryan sits down on the cavern floor, leans against the wall, and sleeps for 6 hours. He wakes up on day 8, walks to the floor 12 stairwell, opens the door, looks at what's inside, and then closes it again. Floor 12 is empty, has always been empty, just a corridor that leads back to the surface exit. It was never a floor. It was always just the way out. He takes the way out. The surface entrance to the Varric Rift is not unmonitored at 7:14 in the morning on day 8. Word has moved through the board's internal chain over the past 3 days, quietly, then less quietly, that the dead rift in the Varric Rift is not dying on schedule. Commander Vale is present. 3 classification technicians are present with a mobile assessment array. The Ironclad 4 are present, in full gear, for reasons nobody has officially stated but everyone understands. The steel door opens from the inside, which is not supposed to happen. Dead Rifts don't have the clearance to unlock the door from the floor side, and Reinaldus walks out of the Varric Rift on day 8, wearing the same civilian jacket he walked in with, the discharge slip still in his pocket. He looks exactly like himself, except that when he steps through the door, every loose object within 4 meters, clipboards, a coffee cup, the lens cap from a camera slides half an inch away from him, as though the air is making room. The classification technicians activate the mobile array. It takes longer than it should. Then all 3 screens return the same thing simultaneously. Error, core class, unclassifiable, resonance output, beyond measurable range, threat tier. No category Commander Vale looks at the screens. He looks at Rein. He is a precise man who has never raised his voice. He does not raise it now either, but something about the way he holds his pen has changed. Ironclad, he says quietly. The 4 step forward. Their combined output in their showcase 2 months ago measured 800 resonance units, enough to drop a B-rank dungeon boss in 4 strikes. They don't say anything. The leader, the one who laughed in the gallery 8 days ago, raises both blades, and the 4 of them release together. The impact hits Rein in the chest at full output. He takes 1 step back. Then he looks down at his jacket. There's a small scorch mark on the left lapel, the size of a thumbprint, and he straightens it with 2 fingers. The Ironclad 4 do not move. The leader's expression goes through several things quickly, none of them comfortable. Vale sets down his pen. He picks up the official reinstatement form from the technician's table, a form that has to be physically signed by the board commander to reactivate a struck registry entry, and he walks forward and holds it out to Rin. The board formally requests reinstatement of Hunter Rein Aldous to the registry, he says. Classification to be assigned pending assessment. We'd like you back. Rein looks at the form for a long moment. Then he reaches into his jacket pocket and takes out the discharge slip, the one with Dead Rift printed across it in red, the one with 8 boxes along the bottom, all of them, somehow, still empty. He never filled them in. He sets it on the table next to the reinstatement form. He picks up his jacket collar, turns it against the morning air, and walks toward the exit without looking back. The technicians look at each other. The Ironclad 4 don't move. Commander Vales stands with the unsigned reinstatement form in his hand and watches Rin Aldous walk out into the city, past the cameras, past the ranked hunters arriving for the morning shift, past the board's glass and steel facade with its registry boards and its tier lists and its classification arrays. The Burr message is still displayed on all 3 screens. They'll leave it up for 4 hours before anyone thinks to clear it. By then, every hunter in the building will have seen it, and the footage from the classification array, the 4-against-1 result, the unsigned form, the discharge slip left behind, will be the only thing anyone is talking about. Rein doesn't know that. He doesn't need to. He already knew what 8 days could become.